This is a question that any woman in ministry has wrestled with. All the women on this team have wrestled with this question and have, looked at scripture and made the observation that actually there are others that come to very different conclusions, saying that actually women are equal in value to men, but seem to have different roles and different callings, and perhaps that there's almost a ceiling on what a woman can do. But my own story and the story of many of the women on this team, all of the women on this team, is that we have looked at scripture and come to a different conclusion, and not because we're trying to skim over the difficult parts that talk about this, but actually to say when we do proper exegesis and look at the Greek, there's actually an amazing liberation of women that you see. That firstly, that right back at the start of creation, that male and female are equal before God. That's pretty revolutionary compared with the surrounding culture of that time. And then obviously you see these significant women in the Old Testament, like Deborah leading an army. Don't hear about that too much today. And then you get to the New Testament and see Jesus really overturning the cultural norms of the day by saying, for example, with Mary and Martha, that it's not just appropriate for a woman to be in the kitchen practicing hospitality, but actually sitting and learning and studying. And then obviously there are all kinds of other examples, but as Amy points out, that were women present at the birth, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus, and Jesus almost reinstating the role of a woman as a witness. You then go into the book of Acts and you see women evangelists. The first evangelist, apart from the apostles, to be mentioned was the Samaritan woman who evangelized this whole area. And we see actually male and female leaders of the early church leading churches in their homes. And so when I do exegesis of scripture, I see a very liberating, very freeing view actually that men and women are rightly should be working side by side in this. And actually I would add one thing here. We actually are talking here about whether we want to halve the workforce of reaching our country for Christ or not. Actually, we both need male and female to be doing this. And so personally, I feel there's nothing that I would rather do. I feel more human, more alive when I have preached a sermon. I know that God is with me, and I know that He is for women, and yes, women can preach.